And Ja, he's shooting 61% from three over his last 5 games, which is completely unsustainable.
But better. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like if Ja is a legit off the dribble or catch and shoot threat from three, like he's unguardable.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
Let me put you on game.
And speaking of that turmoil and chaos, a team that has risen almost like a phoenix in the midst of this is the Memphis Grizzlies, man. Yeah. Are we going to talk about your boy Ja Morant or what?
We got to. I mean, Desmond Bane kind of started the conversation saying that, he's special. I think he was saying, quote, people debate whether or not Ja should be an all-star, but I think we should be debating whether or not he's the best point guard in the league. So that's some big talk from Desmond Bane. We'll get into that conversation in a second. But yeah, the Grizzlies have been great. They've won 6 straight games. They've beaten the Suns, Nets, Cavs, and Lakers this year. They're getting great contributions from the aforementioned Bane. He's averaging 23, 5, and 3 over that span with really great percentages. He's one of the best shooters in the league. And honestly, he's kind of emerging as one of the better 2 guards in the league. The team as a whole competed really well with Ja out, and they've competed, great as well when Ja came back. They may not yet be on the level of the top 3 teams in the East, in the West, yet. But maybe that could be the anchor theory again coming out for me. But I mean, we'll have to see how they go over the course of the season. But none of those top 3 teams want to see them in the playoffs because they're a really dangerous, high energy team. But to get into Ja's 36 and 6 over that span. He's shooting 40% from 3 over that span as well, and 46% from 3 over this span, but 40% on the season. That's basically the one knock on him, is that he wasn't a shooter, but elite athlete, one of the best at rim finishers in the league, super creative in that area, 14.2 points, which is only behind Jokic and Giannis in that area, which is insane considering his height and his frame. It only speaks to his ability to finish and his tenacity as a player. And he only stands to get better, honestly. We can get into that conversation about where he is and as far as the top point guards, but him and the Grizzlies deserve a lot of love for what they've done this year. They've been excellent.
Yeah. The organization, kudos to them for constructing a really good team around Ja. Making trades for players like Steven Adams, which everybody's kind of scratching their heads about, especially because in the absence of Ja in some points last year, Giannis Valanciunas was the best player on the team. But it seems to have been a success, especially when you look at their rebounding numbers. They're first in offensive and defensive rebounds in the league. So the fact that their shooting numbers aren't as impressive as you'd like them to be, they're just getting way more possessions and opportunities to score, as they're, I think, 4th in field goals made this season. And the team, they're bully on that end. And Ja, he's shooting 61% from 3 over his last 5 games, which is completely unsustainable.
But better. That's crazy. Like if Ja is a legit off the dribble or catch and shoot threat from 3, like he's unguardable.
Yeah, yes, 100%. At the point getting into he's one of the fastest rising point guards in the league for sure. And I think he's definitely in that D Rose space of just like, holy cow, we have to keep an eye on this guy, because before we know it, he's going to take over the league. He has stole all of the shine from Zion in that draft class, and the team is just ahead of schedule. Again, more kudos to that roster construction. And as far as him being the best point guard in the league, I don't know if I can necessarily say that, especially he's not even top 15 in terms of assists per game. And I don't think that should be the only metric that we use to categorize point guards this season, especially, or in general, especially, looking at Steph, who is the best point guard in the league, and he's not top. I don't think he's one of the top assist guys. He's up there though. And it's more so because of his leadership, his shooting, and his gravity on the court. I think Ja has that same potential, and he has that same ability to just take over games and just be the best player on his team and on the court at any given time. I think he's making moves, he's making waves, and he's putting everyone on notice. But the team will only go as far as he takes them. And I think that he'll take them pretty far. I think a second round exit is probably the ceiling this year. Maybe they can sneak into the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be tough, but they provide so much energy. They provide so much hype. And again, this roster and his supporting cast, they do just enough to make it hard for you. They're playing that hard brand of Grizzlies basketball that we've, kind of grown accustomed to. And it's an awesome thing to see.
Yeah, I think Ja has an argument for top 3, honestly, though. I mean, as far as just performance this season, not name, because I mean he's been better than Dame this year. Trey has been excellent. I think Trey is probably the guy that you might stick at number 2, but the Hawks have been so abysmal this year that his stats, as great as they are, they haven't necessarily led to success, even though he's been great. I don't like good stats, bad team thing, but I mean, I think if we're just looking at just ranking guys, I think that it's Steph, maybe Trey, and then Ja's in there. I think he's in there for that spot. I think his passing has been great this year. His defense hasn't been so amazing, but yeah, his hat rim finishing, his improvement as a shooter, I think he's up there. I think he has a distinct style of play that has benefited the Grizzlies greatly. And I don't know. I don't think it'll be too long before we can look up and Ja is that guy, is the best point guard in the league. Maybe not yet, but I can definitely see why Desmond Bane wants to make that argument.
Yeah. And, again, shout outs to Desmond Bane, 30th overall draft pick last year, drafted by the Celtics, traded on draft day, and is making a big name for himself. Guys like him, Dylan Brooks on the wing, make it really hard. Dylan Brooks can do a little bit of playmaking, strong defensive anchors, the both of them, solid outside shooting, just a well-constructed team, man. They're really exciting. They're fun to watch. They give effort, and that's what you love to see in the league right now.
Yeah. Shout out to the Grizzlies for sure.
Yeah.